Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the RIP 28 podcast, Father's Day edition. I am your host, Professor TB, and I'm joined by an esteemed panel of Black fathers. And I want to introduce everybody, starting with Jawan, JK.
Hey, what's going on out there, internet world? It's Juwan Kennedy, JK, down here in Charleston, South Carolina. Gonna give y'all a good show today.
All right, wonderful. Second one is going to be LB, QB2, LB.
What's up? It's LeBron Brown, the educator's educator, come to give you some great knowledge and drop jewels all day.
Wonderful, wonderful. He might be QB2, be still free safety number one. All right, and then we're going to move forward to number 3, the man himself, Andre Cooper.
What it do, podcast crowd, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to get up on this. Anyway, man, appreciate the love. The G5 Monster Street Thug, we out here.
All right, last but certainly not least, the Memphis Monster himself, Mr. Chance Nesbitt.
What's up, my brethren and sisterin out there in the world? This is Chance. Just ready to chop it up with my guys. Let's go.
All right, everybody. So thanks for the introductions. Without further ado, once again, we're talking about the RIP 28 Father's Day edition. So before we even get into the subject of Father's Day, I wanted to make sure we plug the podcast. We got a Twitter page. We got a YouTube page. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. We are increasing our presence on the web. So we look forward to you coming along on our journey of growth. And we really appreciate your support. So what I wanted to do before we talked about fathers is I wanted to illuminate some factoids about Father's Day. And this comes courtesy of Twitter user Jamel the Creator, but he used the CDC's information along with the National Longitudinal Survey of Youth in order to generate some of this information, okay? So just give me a second. The state of Black fatherhood. The first thing is we want to talk about, and one of the things I want to make sure I'm clear about before we go into this is that we're not trying to bash any other group of fathers. The thing that we're trying to do is dispel some of the stereotypes and myths that permeate discourse about Black fathers. And so the first thing is we talk about the involvement with their children. And you can see some of the different questions that they asked in terms of measuring how involved Black fathers are with their children. So how often you spend time with your kids, how often you ate dinner with your kids, so on and so forth. And you can see that Black fathers scored a 3.87 on this scale, meaning that overall, relative to other groups, they were able to score higher in terms of spending quality time with their kids. Also, when Black individuals were surveyed about the level of involvement that their father had in their childhood, you can see 75% of individuals had their father around and playing a role in their life. And then also, you can see, based on the mother's perception, the numbers that show how Black men are involved with their children, all right? And you can see very involved right here, 41%, very high compared to other groups. Once again, not bashing other groups, just want to show you the statistics, because sometimes we fall into some of this pathologizing when it comes to Black men, especially Black fathers and their involvement in the community. But when we look at this empirically, we see that the data suggests that Black fathers are very involved on a day-to-day basis with their children. So I'm going to start that share, and I want to toss out to my esteemed panel. Fatherhood, being a father. What does the word father mean to you? So I'm going to tap QB2, free safety 1, LeBron Brown.
Fatherhood to me means I want to be involved in every aspect of my child's life. I want to give him the opportunity to do anything he feels that he wants to do, or help him create his dream and fulfill his dream. I may have to sacrifice and do whatever I need to do, but I need to be with him every step of the way, not only vocally, but showing him by example by being a presence in his life every day, a positive presence.
Okay, all right. What about JK over there down in Charleston, South Carolina? What does fatherhood mean to you? What does father mean to you?
Man, I just think it's an opportunity to do. It's a blessing to be a father. Just had that opportunity to be a father to my kids. I got 3 girls, and yeah, it's just a blessing to be there and be able to impart different knowledge, different wisdom that I've gained over the years, and even learning from them as I learn their different personalities, and and just learn what to say and what to do. But yeah, it's just a blessing. I think of me growing up. Yeah, my father was there. He was around. But he was working half the time, because he had to work provide. And so you didn't really get that quality time with him. I'm thinking like right now, even with all this COVID stuff going on, I'm just blessed to be able to work from home, and you just get more time with your kids and more time to spend and actually play that role as a father.
All right. I'm sending it down to my man, the Memphis. I forgot what I called him earlier, so forget it. Chance Nesbitt.
All right. Well, I do want to reiterate on what Juwan said, that it is truly a blessing to be a father. I mean, some people don't get that opportunity. So, I mean, that's a great thing all in itself right there. But I did want to say, you always hear that people say, I want you to, like on 5 Heartbeats, that is like, I just want you to be a better man than me. You just try your best to, you lived your life, you made your mistakes and all that stuff, but you want your kids to be better than you and to do better than you. And the journey on trying to make that happen is a challenge. And I think it's something that's worthwhile.
All right, but last but not least, the newest father in the fray, the G5 monster down in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh yeah, man. Like you say, it's a blessing. I mean, it's a privilege. For me, it's a big deal. I mean, I've been waiting a long time to get to this point in my life, not necessarily saying I wasn't ready for kids early in my life, but I just wanted to kind of try to do it almost like the old school way, get married, then have a child type of deal. So I pretty much stuck to that as much as I could. And now me being a father to a little girl, I mean, it's amazing, man. You just like the energy that you get, just knowing that you got a child, and especially like, not saying it's less for boys, but just having a girl, just the whole thing that you want to do for her, the protection and teaching her, the rights from wrong and things to look out for. I mean, it's a lot, And so, like I said, I'm just enthused about being a father, but as also I've been watching a lot of them old school Netflix movies with the kingdoms and stuff like this. They talk about your heir to the throne and all type of stuff like that. And I've seen things like The Last Kingdom. The princess kind of took over a kingdom due to her husband, who was the king, of course, getting killed. And so just watching stuff like that just kind of make, kind of give you a different perspective.
Okay. All right. And just myself chiming in, I'm the only panelist who does not have children. However, I've participated in a lot of mentoring over the years. And basically, that's kind of akin to social fathering, where someone may not necessarily have a biological tie to the child in question, but they assume a mentoring role, they assume a nurturing role, and are able to contribute to their personal growth. And so just seeing the evolution of an individual from when you first start interacting with that person, and then seeing them, kind of fall down and get back up, make different mistakes, and then also seeing them kind of adopt some of the different things that you provided them in terms of advice, and then having them be grateful for that advice. All that stuff is a very rewarding experience. So, while I may not necessarily have a biological tie in that manner, I have had the opportunity to see some young people grow up in that capacity, and it's been extremely rewarding. So one of the things I want to ask you guys is, tell me about fatherhood and your personal growth, right? So talk about you as an individual, where you were when you first started being a father, and then where you are now in your fatherhood, and maybe some of the changes, some of the different influences in that.
Hey, Tim, you do got a dog, though.
Well, I'll say for me, I've grown a lot because before I had a child, it was all about me, about self. I didn't have anyone else to really be responsible for. So he's taught me responsibility. He's taught me a kinder love. He's taught me that he's taught me also that I have to make decisions not only for myself, but with him in mind. So he's given me a sense of pride, knowing that there's someone that's looking up to me, that's expecting for me to provide and protect and provide that guidance and that fatherly, that manly and fatherly figure that he's going to need to be successful in life. We've had fun, man. I've rejuvenated myself being a kid, doing some of the things that my father did with me. And it's given me a very, very, very big sense of pride to see my son support me the way he does in my career, as well as my coaching career. So he's taught me to be prideful and responsible. So, but I've been a father before. I had to take care of Chance and Tim. So, it's a little bit different, but I still do what I do for my kids, man. I just want you to know it's Father's Day. I love y'all.
You can't cook, man. You can't cook, man. We didn't like that. I'll step in next. Um, when I first had my first kid, I was like 21 years old, and I was really nowhere near ready to be a father at that time. I mean, I think I did pretty good considering, but I still wanted to hang out with the fellows every weekend and do stuff like that. So I had to, wean myself off of that and get better at being more responsible. I was kind of lucky because I worked in the school system at the time, and it was a private school, like a really good private school, and my kids actually got to go to that. Well, my first daughter got to go to that school with me. So, we rode to school together, rode back home together all the time. We spent lots of time with each other. I watched a lot of Dora the Explorer and stuff like that on the on the TV in the car. But I can tell you probably SpongeBob episode word by word. But man, it was a great experience. I just think when you're a young parent, you kind of if you take on that responsibility and you take that challenge, you kind of grow together. Just like in a marriage, you grow together, and I think just make that bond stronger.
Yeah, that's commendable, man. I couldn't imagine being a father at 21 years old, man. Whew. That's good stuff there. But I think just on my end, man, I didn't have my first kid till I think I was 30, 31, somewhere in there. But it's just balance because you're working, you got kids, and then you got the wife, and you got to balance all that stuff. And I think that's one of the things I had to learn to do, because you put more effort in one, and then if the other lacking, you can have issues there. So I can't put all my energy just I'm doing all the stuff for the kids, but I ain't take care of the wife. Right? Or I'm doing all the stuff with the wife, but I ain't doing my job with the kids. Or I'm doing everything at home, but then the work life lacking because I'm not getting the job done there. So I think that balance and that ebb and that flow to just getting in the rhythm, that's what I learned over the years, and it's difficult, and that's why I think it's tough for a lot of people to stay engaged and stay married, because the extra stress with the kids and stuff like that, it can be overwhelming at times, and so learn to balance that and getting in a regular rhythm with my wife and with the kids, and getting in a rhythm at home with everything kind of going like boom, 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 right? And so, that's what I learned over the years.
Good deal, man.
That's very true. Very true. I'm gonna go ahead and put out my disclaimer that I want to give out to all these young men. I mean, they go for women as well, but I'm going to emphasize on the young men. Like I tell all the young dudes I work with, all the young dudes I meet, like, man, enjoy your life first before you dive head first into being a father. Like I had my first child at 39. So of course I was able to do everything I wanted. Now don't get me wrong, I was jealous of my friends like Chance, showing me videos of his youngest son toting a rock, doing his thing, looking like his daddy, you know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong, at the same time, me being jealous, at the same time, I appreciate the fact that I had the opportunity to chase my dreams, do all the wild, young, stupid mess, like I say, street thug. Now, I'm taking penitentiary chances. I got all of that out my system by the time I was 39. So I emphasize to all the young people out there, like I say, boys and girls, take your time. Do not rush. You don't know what you want to be at 20. I know it's cute to have babies in your arms and Instagram and all that, but trust me, if you just wait a little longer, try to get closer to 30. I promise you, but you'll appreciate this conversation later on if you instead of rushing into it. Because, like I said, I'm pretty sure Chance, like you said, he wanted to do his thing, but he's a smart man. He took a back seat, and like Juwan said, he was 30. He started to realize what was going on. He didn't really have to go through that struggle. Of course, me at 39, I'm out the game. You know what I'm saying? My player card being turned in, but yeah, that's the first foremost I wanted to get that out there. But for me, like I said, me being a new father, it's been a long time coming, long time waiting. You know what I'm saying? Like, waiting for this opportunity. Like, I wasn't even like overwhelmed when my daughter was born. I was just happy. Like, I'm like, finally. It's almost like running 100 meters and you run down the dude in front and you beat him out for the finish line. That's just kind of how I feel. Like I finally achieved the goal. So like I said, I'm just ready to dive head first into it and teach my daughter everything I want to teach her. And I don't know. The wifey talking crazy, but she trying to get something else in the pot. But that's another conversation.
Hey,
You're gonna
look,
be 75 when they graduate.
Bro, I told her 65 and I'm done. Like, never knows he got to come soon.
Hey, having the back-to-back ain't a bad thing. They can have playmate.
I
had mine 11 months apart. The first two,
sure, yeah.
It was tough.
Right.
It paid off in the long run.
Right.
And
right,
I'm
right.
like Dre. I waited 36 years to have a son, so it taught me patience. It taught me patience, and it's still teaching me patience as he grows and makes his mistakes. I have to stay patient, and I'm learning that because I want him to be almost perfect, but I have to realize he's gonna grow and have growing pains just as we did as we were growing too.
So to all our listeners out there, after you heard what Dre had to say with his wife, if you got a spare couch for Dre to sleep on after this episode, then I'm pretty sure he'll appreciate it. All right, but he did bring up some pretty good points, and LeBron kind of echoed it. And I wanted to ask the guys a question: as fathers, does competition play into how you approach father?
Competition. Hey, first of all, it took LeBron 36 years to get somebody to let him have a kid. Neither here nor there. You mean competition like with other fathers, see who can do the best job?
Yeah, Dre was talking about how he will look at your post and see your son doing things. And, we live in a world where we've got social media that provides us with a snapshot of what's going on in everybody's life. So, maybe you see kids by one of your buddies doing something a little bit different than you let your kids do, all right? Or maybe, even within your household, when it's time for you to talk with your wife about, different ways of doing things with your kids. Like, how does that work?
Competition-wise, I can say, I know I got I've been lucky that I got the same 3 kids with one woman, my wife, of course. But I know a lot of people who have, baby daddies or baby mamas, and you got a stepdaddy and this and that. And then I think that's kind of where the competition comes in, because like maybe somebody will have more money than others, and they'll buy them expensive gifts like PlayStation 5s and 4s and stuff like that. And the parent that's there working every day, trying to take care of the household can't afford stuff like that. So it's kind of a competition there where, somebody's trying to outdo the other, or one's trying to make the other one look bad so they can look good type thing. But to me, no, I don't compete with anybody, because everybody has a different situation. If you start trying to compare yourself to other people, man, you'll never be happy.
That's it.
Yeah, I can definitely comment on the whole stepfather situation, because I'm a stepfather to my 14-year-old son. He's his dad, in the military. He's stationed in Hawaii actually right now. So not trying to bash the man, but he doesn't. Communication's pretty much to a bare minimum, and I mean, don't get me wrong, he's paying a good amount of child support, so I actually don't blame him for not trying to go out there and buying them this, that, and the third. So I definitely get that part. But yeah, I mean, definitely when he goes to see him, I mean, I definitely know, he's said things or whatever. My stepson, he comes back and he tells me about it. But he knows the difference. So I guess with me coming in kind of later on in his life, it don't really make it like a division type of thing. It's almost like he knows things are being said due to the new situation, with him actually having another man in his life on a day-to-day basis. So I'm appreciative that, that he's wise enough to know the difference and necessarily don't take things to heart. So it's all good.
All right.
Yeah, I'm probably with Chance. I don't know. I don't really get in the competition because everybody got their own challenges, and everybody's life is different, right? So if you're looking over here and looking at what other people are doing and like, well, they having a kid now, and I want to have my kid now, I don't think I ever really got into that whole challenges. But I'll also see what they're saying with the kids, and you got kids out of different households, and the parents kind of compete. I see that. I got friends like that who have to deal with that kind of stuff, with the competition and buying kids stuff and stuff like that. So I see that aspect of it too.
Well, I don't see much being competitive or competition, man. I'm just trying to be the best father for my kid. Like Juwan said, every situation is different. So what works for one household or one kid may not work for the next. So I just focus on being a better me so I can be the best for him and make sure he gets the things that he needs, and just hope that everything turns out the best for everyone.
I don't think people realize that that's not a healthy situation either when you like competing for a child. I mean, that's spoiling the mess out of the kid for one, and then making them pick sides and stuff like that. That's not beneficial to their growth as a person. So people need to stop doing that, man. Hey, just be the best you can, man. Y'all get along. If you got that kind of situation, y'all need to have some kind of agreement. You might not like each other or whatever, but I mean, you got to be civil and got to get along because it's about the kids. It's not about the mama and the daddy or the stepdaddy and none of that. It's about the kids and making sure they're all right.
And when it's a competition, you're trying to win them over with material things, materialistic things. And it's teaching the child to value material things, which can be taken away. I think you should focus on really just building a bond with your child, the best bond that you can, and just being open with your child and whatever it is. No two people, no two parents, whether you're in a household together or you're living separately, you're never going to agree all the time. But it's very important to present a united front for the child so that the child doesn't see division and be able to manipulate one parent or whatever the case may be in that situation.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask you guys to share and open up, be vulnerable, and dig kind of deep right now. But do you have, any insecurities as fathers, or something that you probably wish somebody would have told you prior to becoming a father?
Insecurities of father. I wouldn't say insecurities, but I'll say you worry a lot because you think you do your best job trying to teach them, and all kids are gonna make mistakes and stuff like that, and you kind of gotta get to that level where you can't beat yourself up about it. I tell my wife this sometimes also that you did a good job. I mean, if they did something wrong, that does not make you like a bad parent. You know what I mean? Everybody make mistakes. We still make mistakes as grown, 40 40-year-olds. I know everybody ain't hit 40 yet, but I'm at that 40. But you just gotta take everything in stride and know that you can do everything right, and your kid may be a serial killer or something. It ain't necessarily your fault that they went astray. It's a lot of other influences out here in this world, like their friends, people they hang around. And you can try to shelter them as much as you can, but there's only so much you can do. With this corona, you get an opportunity to be around them a lot more because we can't get out and do all the things that they're used to doing. But in a normal life, it's a lot of other influences that, you know, can get in kids' head. Because a lot of times, I know, especially with me coaching my kids, they think I don't know nothing, but another coach can come tell them the same exact thing I said, and they'll listen to it. So I mean, that just lets you know how vulnerable kids' minds are. So you gotta tread lightly and kind of just navigate through this world with them.
Yeah, speaking of Corona, man, you had 4 kids going into Corona, man. What happened?
Who had 4 kids going in the Corona?
Yeah, you had 4 kids, but you said you had 3 kids at the beginning of the podcast. So, like, what happened to the 4th
I ain't got no 4 kids unless you count LeBron.
one?
Hey.
And my
Hey,
son,
I wouldn't say that I have any insecurities as a father, but I will say I have a big fear, and that's having another man raise my child, whether it be to whatever the situation may be, a decision that I made or a bad decision that came back to haunt me. But my biggest fear is having another man raise my child. And I wish someone would have told me that every child is different and that you have to be patient. My son is growing, so I'm looking at him and comparing his development with the development of my oldest son Chance, and it's not very comparable. So he's a light years ahead. So I'm happy about that. So I'm glad I would have been glad someone would have told me that.
Yeah, just to tag on. I don't think I have any insecurities. I think I kind of second guess myself. Like, am I doing things right now? Like 10 years from now, like when my oldest was like 18. So 10 years from now, she'd probably my oldest is 8. So 10 years from now, she'll be 18. And so I always second guess myself. Am I doing the right things now such that in the future I had that right relationship with her so that she kind of, like Chance said, one person could tell them one thing and he, like, they won't receive it from him, but somebody else can tell them something else and they will. So I just want my kids to always be receptive to what I'm saying. I heed what I'm saying. And so I just want to, that's one thing I kind of concerns me. Am I doing the right things now to put myself in a position later to such that I had that right relationship there with them, such that I can still be influential in their life, even though they have the ability to make their own decisions. So,
Yeah, I guess my biggest insecurity, I guess I would say somewhat of insecurity, is just the whole, man, there's this whole social media thing, man. It's the way these women just be acting. You know, oh, I gotta do this for TikTok. I gotta do this for the gram. I gotta do this for Snap. I gotta do this for the book. I'm gonna try my damnedest to not allow my daughter to just get caught up in it. I ain't gonna necessarily like stop her from participating in it. Just don't get caught up in it. Don't, like, I seen a grown woman the other day. We on a boat. We riding, you know, enjoying ourselves. And she all, oh, I gotta catch my hair in the wind. Like, you got to be joking right now. Like, you in marketing for a major supermarket, and you worrying about catching a picture with your weave, should I say, quote unquote, blowing in the wind? Stop, man. I swear, man. I just really hope and pray my daughter do not turn out to be one of those females, man. That would kill me on the inside. Because, I mean, I know how aggravated I am seeing it. I just would hate for her to aggravate another man because, you know, ain't too many men going to really tolerate that. You know, that drive a lot of dudes away, you know, with all the extra stuff. And I don't know. I just really don't want to see her necessarily get caught up in that and feel, you know, need that superficial approval. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, I ain't get 100 likes on this. And, that's probably my most insecure feeling, that she turns out to be one of those type of females. That would hurt me on the inside.
Yeah, you gotta build that confidence, man, and just keep them involved in a lot of things. I got some family members that, you know, their kids are very athletic, man, but don't play no sports because their parents don't really care enough to take them to practice and stuff like that. And, you know, they say if you got a whole bunch of time on your hands, you're going to find something to do or something to get into. So the more busy you can keep them, man, just keep them involved in things and trying to find out what they really like. You know, give them purpose in life instead of just hanging around trying getting in trouble and stuff.
All right, man. I got one last question for you guys. A little bit fun one, but don't incriminate yourself in the process. But did you earn your Father's Day gift this year? We're gonna start out with LeBron. Since you said that you raised me, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you ain't getting nothing.
Hey, I've been knowing you all my life, and I hadn't gotten anything from you since then, so I'm not expecting much from you, son. But no, I think I have. I really, no, you know, not to toot my own horn, but to answer the question I feel that I have, I feel like I've not only earned it, but I deserve it for making sure and providing and making sure everything is taken care of. I feel like whatever is given to me is well deserved and very much appreciated.
Yeah, that's a good question. Did I earn my Father's Day? I'm like my pops, man. Honestly I hadn't bought my pops a Father's Day gift yet. But he's cool with it. I give him a call and he'd be like, "Yeah, man, just the next time you see me, you can take care of me. That's good." And my mom, on the other hand, if I don't send her car and don't get that by Mother's Day, I'm in trouble. So I'm kind of like my pops. But if the kids do something, that's great. If they don't, I'm cool also, man. I know my kids love me and I love them, and so that's all that matters. So.
Good deal. I go next. Like you said, Mother's Day is a big difference from Father's Day. You know, every commercial on TV, Mother's Day. I mean, they commercials making money off of these folks because you know that's when all the diamond commercials come out and all kind of stuff like that. Father's Day, you get a tie. You know what I mean? But you know, I'll speak for myself personally. I'll have no complaints about my Father's Day. My Father's Day was always great. But as far as you know, how kind of the world views Father's Day. I think we kind of talked about this earlier in another podcast. How we think, what you say, Tim, coherently, they're not what was the word you said, Tim? Men are not
Men are disposable.
Yeah, men are disposable or
disposable.
They're not appreciated a lot of times. It's just that I know one day when my kid was in daycare, it was Father's Day, and they didn't do you know how they do crafts for all the holidays and stuff like that? Dad didn't get no crafts, man, and I felt kind of way about that. I was like, dang, so y'all don't appreciate Father's Day, but you know, all the other holidays and Mother's Day and all that, you know, they get their stuff. But I mean, that's just how the world is. I'm not looking for anything because I mean, I just do my job the best that I can, and you know, whatever comes out of that comes out of that. But I think as a whole, you know, some men are undervalued and unappreciated. Because like you showed those stats at the beginning of the show, guys are doing their job way more than people think, and way more than they're portrayed on TV and the news and all that stuff. So I think they need to get their love. You know how they say, get your flowers while you're still here. And man, it's a lot of men, a lot of black men, white men, Chinese, all nationalities doing their things, trying to do the best to take care of their kids, and they need to be appreciated. And I appreciate people, and I see people, and I try to let people know because people don't hear good stuff enough. So I do my part on that, but it'd be good if everybody else did too.
All right. I mean, so Chance and Juwan kind of alluded to it. Anybody else want to kind of jump in on that whole Mother's Day versus Father's Day perspective?
Well, I got something to say.
Go ahead.
Like females do a lot. Like I couldn't. They multitaskers. I can't multitask like this.
Boy,
and so they very well
correct.
should be appreciated more so than I am, because they do a lot more. Like literally, like I couldn't do what my wife does, right? Because she just does so much more. So I commend the mothers out there, man, and then even the mothers that's doing it by themselves. It's very hard to do that. It's very hard to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a big difference, like you said. I mean, Father's Day is kind of you know, pretty much dumbed down for the most part. I mean, hell, even in my household growing up, like, of course, it was my daddy. Oh, here's some money, boy. Go and get your mama something from the store. You know, for Mother's Day, da 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 da. You know, type of deal. But of course, when Father's Day came around, I remember my mama ever give me money to tell me to go get something for my father for Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's definitely a big difference. But as far as did I earn my Father's Day this year? I guess I did. My wife got me matching shirts with my daughter for my first Father's Day. So I mean, she said that wasn't it, but you know, I definitely appreciate that. That was definitely something caught me off guard. You know, got our names
So
on it and
cute.
everything. I was like, oh, look at this here. But yeah, man, definitely. I mean, I know I earned it. I mean, with this Corona, I'm home every day. My wife, she working from home. So while she doing her thing, I'm in the room entertaining the baby. Like you saying, watching the SpongeBob, watching the, you know, taking it back to the Dora Explorers. I mean, I'm, you know, letting her pretty much have her own world in there, playing with toys. You know, the whole thing, shooting videos, taking pictures. You know, the whole nine. So, of course, my mom is die hard about her grandbaby, so I got to do the video chatting with her and everything else. So, but yeah, I definitely know I earned it, but at the same time, I don't really think I had to speak on it because like I said, my wife went ahead and took care of that from the rip. So I guess I'm doing a good job by her standards.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start navigating us to a close. So I'm gonna ask the panel to give some closing remarks. I'm actually gonna start it out by just saying some appreciative words about my father. I was blessed enough to have my father well into my 30s before he passed away.
We did.
Was that?
I said we did, not just you.
Yes, we, all of us, right? And so, you know, one of the things he used to say was you understand it better as you get older. And, you know, as a man, you look back at some of the things that, you know, your parents try to impart upon you, and you really appreciate what LeBron was saying, like the patience, or like Chance was saying, just some of the different lessons, because you can't really understand it until you really go through it. And so, you know, my father, over the course of my life, he had to mature into his position as well. You know, he was a young father as well, but you know, he was able to rise to the occasion and do many wonderful things. It doesn't mean that he was a perfect individual, right? But you know, kind of what the panel really echoed was the fact that he really did his best in order to raise me and raise me into somebody that he could be proud of, and that I could be proud of myself, most importantly. So I hope that I honor his memory, I honor his legacy, and his forefathers and everybody that came before him. And also earlier I spoke about social fathering, and Chance spoke about giving people their roses as well. So I want to give a few shout outs. First and foremost, Paul Swan of the Running Rebels. Still a fixture in our lives. Really appreciate all the different things that you've done for us. Some of the different coaches that I've had in my life, including Coach Kelly and Coach Smith and Coach Hook from Columbia High. Jeff Mathis and Troy Peace and Anthony Bridges from Georgia Tech, just provided me with that stable paternal influence when my father may have been working, like Juwan said, or you know, just contextually where I needed that male figure to model, to give me that advice, to kind of steer me in the right direction. So, you know, love you guys. Hopefully you receive these flowers while we're still here. And I'll definitely make sure to follow up with texts and phone calls. So I'm gonna toss it to the panel for some closing remarks. And we'll go with Dre first.
Oh well, I mean, like you said, man, people that we definitely was in school with. Big shout out to Coach Hook. You know, he definitely looked out. You know, gave me words of wisdom in between time, and I also got to say, man, big shout out to the Riverside. You know, they taught me how to drive. They taught me about females. You know, so gotta give a shout out to the streets, man. They definitely got me where I needed to be. But it's all good. Like, gotta get it how you live.
All right, let's move over to JK. What's up, man?
Not
Keep
much.
it on Family Feud.
No, it's a good show. Good show. Yeah, fatherhood, man. It's a journey. It's a journey. It's a long journey. Like Tim and Chance was saying, it makes you appreciative what your parents did, what your fathers did to impart things into your life, because now you're seeing it from their perspective now, and yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be able to have the opportunity to do. And like I said, I'm just thankful that I got the opportunity, and I'm gonna try to do the best that I can.
All right, let's go with Nesbitt.
All right, man. When this subject came up, I kind of thought about it. I was like, man, what did I do for my dad on Father's Day? And I sit back and think about it. I didn't do very much for him either. And I understand it's just that, like Juwan was saying, moms do so much, and they're so much out in the forefront. I mean, they deserve, most of the credit. We're kind of complementary pieces in this whole family thing most of the time. Moms do a lot, man. But I kind of look back and I'm like, dang, man, I probably should appreciate my pops more, man. He taught me a lot. And man, we did. That man would, if somebody was walking on the interstate, he'd stop, pick him up, and give him a ride, stuff like that. We did the little Meals on Wheels thing, for folks in the projects, stuff like that, taking meals to people. And he just taught me some core values that, no matter where you at in life, man, everybody is a person, everybody's equal, and you treat them as such. So I really appreciate that. And the last thing I want to say though is there is some single mamas out there who be posting, talking about on the mama and the daddy. Don't do that, y'all decided to make whoever your baby daddy is your baby daddy.
Playing with fire. You playing with fire.
Take care of them. I mean, don't do that though. Fathers do deserve their days. I mean, there's some people who don't handle their business as a father too, but I mean, mothers got their day, fathers got their day. Let's keep that separate. That's all I gotta say.
All right, well, when you see Chance Nesbitt with a black eye next week, you know that somebody watched the podcast. So last but not least, LeBron Brown.
Well, I would just like to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers, all the esteemed panelists, Jawan, Coop, Chance. Happy Father's Day to y'all. I would like to say happy Father's Day to my father, who's been a great mentor, leader, provider, protector in my life, Mr. Leroy Brown. I thank him for everything he's done. Thank you for teaching me to be a man so that I could be a leader and a teacher for my son. I want to thank all my auxiliary fathers, Coach Hook, Greg Howard, Mark Curlow, Charlie Macaluso, Coach Amy, and anybody that I forgot. I thank y'all for everything you've done in my life and keeping me on the straight and narrow and teaching me to be a man and to stand on my own 2 feet. I appreciate y'all. Love you. Happy Father's Day.
All right. So thanks to our distinguished panel for their time today. Hopefully, everybody's having a wonderful Father's Day. On behalf of the RIP 28 podcast, my name is Tim Brown. Don't forget about our media presence on Twitter, on YouTube. If you want us to cover a topic, then shout out to us on Twitter. Make sure that you subscribe and you follow, and then obviously make sure that you share with your friends. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Peace.
You're trying to get on all them things.
Peace.